What's good, creatives? It's me again, Tunji from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my one-on-one training with Ceasar. All right, so I have a design from one of my students, and I'm going to share what is working on the project and what is not really okay on the project and where he needs to improve as a creative person. But before I get to the critiquing of the design, I need to quickly say this to you guys that every design project has a job to do, and that job is what influenced the design form. All right, so I'll go straight to Favor's design because that's the name of my student. I'll go straight to his design and I'll share what I need to share on the project. Okay. I asked Favor what exactly is the message behind this, and he said the project is actually for the Gen Zs. All right, and I said something in the beginning of this video that every design project has a job to do, and that job is what influenced the design form. Now, the job of this project is to to capture the attention of the young people. And whenever you are working on design project for young people, there should be this little play feel on the project. There's a tutorial I did on how to get the right design project for the right people, the right audience. All right. Now, when it comes to doing design for young people, your font should not look ordinary like this. There should be something a bit playful with your type. All right. Because young people have this wanting to see something that entertain them than the adults. The adults are people who believe, okay, let me just get the information I want to get from this and then I go my way. But the young people want to see something that would make them feel like, wow, I feel like having this design, this concept on my shirt or maybe as my DP like that. All right. So the first thing that I noticed that you did not do well where capturing the attention of the right audience is your choice of font. All right, is your choice of font. There are times where you don't need to play with all the letters. All right, but let's have this. Something must look different from the way people are used to it. Then the other thing I noticed you did not do well here is when it comes to designing church flyers. There's always a story in the Bible that connects to every title for any church event. So what you need to do is do something abstract with the illustration you're going to use. Here, I notice you use this tech image here, and it's not really okay at all because, we are storytellers, and part of how we tell the right story is when we use the right illustration on our design project. When we don't use the right illustration, it's going to change the message. I would advise you to make sure you get the right illustration whenever you're working on design project. Take your time to digest the message. Take your time to understand the message and then do your research. Look for stories that are connected to the title of that message and then use something that is closer to that story as your illustration whenever you're working on design project for churches. The other thing I feel you did not do well here again is the use of two different illustrations. This is one here and this is another one here. When you do this, you're going to get people confused. One illustration is enough to draw attention to every information on your project. But when you now make it more than one, you are going to start telling different stories. Yeah, you can use something closer to brain since you are working for Gen Zs, all right? But there are several ways you can do this. One of it is this. In fact, whenever I'm working for young people, I do more of, drawings. One of the ways you can do this way is, so if I'm going to use any illustration here now, I can do something around, because even if you look at the title, it said the power of mindset. So there should be something that depicts power. All right. And another thing I want to teach you guys is whenever you're working on a design project and you hear the word power, try use colors that are warm. All right. Warm colors, because I've mentioned this before that part of another way we tell stories in design is through the use of the color we use on our projects. So whenever you see the word, and this is for everybody, Whenever you see the word power on your project, it means there should be something that your colors should have. You should use more of warm colors on the project. So if I'm going to do anything here now, like if I want to do an illustration to create what the message of this artwork is talking about, I can do something like draw something like a light bulb. All right. Can do something like a light bulb, and then this light bulb will now come in form of a brain. All right. It's come in form of a brain, and then we'll now have this. The bulb thing depicts the power. I'm sure you all understand when you see light bulb. You know what light bulb does? It lights the room. It gives you the opportunity to see in a dark environment. So when you create something around a light bulb, is another way of saying energy. It's another way of saying power. All right. And then the brain thing now depicts the mind. So what just going to, in fact, I'm not going to stress myself. I'll just play with drawing the brain with the light, making it look like a light bulb. And then I'll put my text under it. I believe with that, it will draw more attention than what you did here. And I've also mentioned something again to you guys that whenever you're working on design project, all right, your picture quality is very important. Somebody called me today and, he told me that he wants to sell a laptop. Am I interested? And I told him no. But I explained something to him that he himself said, wow, thank you for telling me this. He sent the laptop with his dull camera phone picture. And I told him, if you really want to sell this laptop and you want people to quickly buy it, don't ever take your item on a dull environment with a dull camera. All right. If you don't have a good camera to take the picture of the item, Google the item. All right. Google the product, send the picture to whoever you want to sell the product to. You'll see them asking you how much is it, and they will buy it. But when you use a dull picture, it's going to make the item, and this also go with design. It's going to make it look unserious. It's going to make it look dull. It's going to make it look sick. And the funniest thing is the laptop is in fact, it's a graphics laptop, and it's a very powerful laptop. But because the picture was taken on a very dull environment, it made the laptop look as if it's old school. It made it look dull. And that's the same thing that applies to the way you use pictures on your design. And I'm saying this here now because of this tier of effect that you did here. All right. And there are times when you use this tier of effect. You don't just use it on your design project. You use it when you're trying to say, okay, maybe you're trying to say the project is a paper. All right. The frame of the project is a paper. And then you now want to say, okay, there's a tear off part of the paper that now display the information that you place on the tear off part. And never use one tear off effect like this on this side of your project, like the way you did it here. If you're going to do this, please repeat the same or repeat another type of tear off effect on this side. All right. So I'm not saying you should now go and look for another tear off paper effect. In fact, you can even repeat the same one that you used here. But why I said use another tear off paper is so that people will know that it's not the same image that you repeat here. All right. So you can just have another tear off paper here or tear off effect here. So it looks as if there's a tear off paper that is pasted on this on the frame of the project. All right, because the way we arrange elements in design is not different from the way things appear to us in real life. In fact, the day you understand this concept, you find out that your layout, your design composition is going to look more attractive to the eye. Don't just place elements around on your project and just make them appear there. No, picture, okay, if I'm going to arrange this in real life or in a 3D world, how is this going to look? See how arrange it in a way that the way you see things that are closer to you that looks bigger to you when they are closer to you, and things that are smaller are far from you. That's the same way you arrange elements on the project. Then the other thing I think you also need to work on here is the use of elements, because we have ways we use design elements on our projects. In fact, the design element is what we use to tell story. I know so many creatives feel, okay, the only way I can display a message on my project is just the use of pictures. Like you feel, okay, to say where I can create illustration on my project is the use of pictures. No, the elements. All right. That's why in fact, that's why the use of picture is also part of the element. All the design elements are supposed to be used to create illustration on your project. All right. I'm talking of the use of shape here, the lines, the circles, the even the white space should be used to, you can use the white space to create illustration. All right. Your patterns, the value, and so on. All right. So those things are also there are you can also use them to create design illustration on your project. Okay. I've mentioned the part of the color. So next time, take your time to understand the message and then use that to get the right color for your project. All right. Then why I mentioned I talked about the use of the element the wrong way is this. Whenever you do this, all right, the message here is more like you're saying all these different activities here are buttons. All right. Yeah, it would have made sense if this project is for a tech brand. So you can do this effect that you did here that looks more like button. But this is a church project. And I've told you guys several times that whenever you're doing a design for a church, picture the project like the way you see movie posters. In fact, movie posters and church projects, they share similar style. They share similar style. And I need you guys to catch that. If you can start looking at church poster that way, being able to come up with good design is going to be easier for you. All right. So please, you do this effect when you are trying to display buttons. Maybe the project is talking about a website, and then you are now trying to explain some buttons on the site, and then you can do this. Or maybe you are trying to say visit the website of the brand. You can now do this your layout here and then put the website on it. All right. See how you can allow enough room for your content to breathe. Because whenever you allow space around your project or around your elements, you are saying to your viewers that when they are accessing the information on the project, you are telling them to relax. When they get to the space part, they relax and then they go to the next information on the project. But when everything is looking too choked, there's no way for them to do that. I need you to get this part I'm about to say here because I decided to make this the last part because it's the most important part whenever we creatives are working on design projects. Now, the tampering with the look of your letters. Whenever you are placing anything close to your text, never alter or change or affect the shape of the text. Now, look at this here now. You'll notice that because you place this effect, this paper with tape effect on this title, it changed this particular letter here to letter A. All right. Now, I'm sure the reason why you did this was because you've seen designers who, place elements on titles, and you found out that you were still able to see the information behind that element. Now, there's a strategic way to do this. And that's why before you do this, take your time to see, okay, is this actually affecting the look of the letter? Because when you do this the wrong way, it's going to change the message. Types are also like images. In fact, types are images in form of shapes. So when we now affect one side of the shape, it's going to give that letter another meaning. It's going to change the look of the letter. And that's what I noticed you did not do well here. So avoid this next time. All right, avoid this. Favor said he's always having issue getting the right font whenever he's asked to work on design projects. I'm only going to quickly teach you how to get the right font whenever you're working for a project like this next time. Now, you say the project is for Gen Zs, young people. All right. So what you need to do whenever you're asked to work on project like this next time is go online and search for graffiti text. Now listen, when I say graffiti, I'm not saying you should now do the, because this is where your creativity needs to come in. I'm not saying you should now go and then use the graffiti text that will be difficult for people to read, because there are some graffiti text that you have to take your time to look at it before you now get the message. No, that's not what I'm saying. Look for something less playful. I'm on Pinterest now and I just searched for graffiti lettering here and look at the option I got from Pinterest. So if I'm asked to work on this project here now, I can use this type of playful letter to design the word mindsets and then make the other part of the title normal type. All right. There are lots of simple type you can use here. All right. So this is one of it. All right, so this is another good one. Now, I'm not now saying you should now do the ink dripping from the text. No, I'm just saying, see the way they play with the lettering here, that we have I as cap, S is bigger, and then E is also bigger on this option here. So I hope you get my point here. And if you can work this way, I believe it will help you where achieving good design is concerned. There's another thing again I want to quickly say again to you. Please, everyone, logo, all right? In fact, a logo is an icon that represents a brand, all right? And the logo is not going to give the exact look of the brand again when there's elements close to it. All right. It's like when I see an Apple logo and I now place maybe a circle at the bottom of that logo. If I do that, that logo is no more Apple logo again. It has changed. I've changed the look of the logo. Now I'm saying this here now because of what Favor did here. Never place image behind any logo. In fact, don't place logo on any image the way you play with it here. You can do this if you make that image so dark that it's not really visible. Like it's so dark that it's not really visible, that you can do that. But in a situation where we can see what's on the background here, please avoid placing pictures, avoid placing logos on pictures. Please, it's not always good. It's not different from you defacing the look of the logo. All right, so I'm going to stop here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to check the post notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload my tutorials. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and also drop a comment if you learn anything from this video. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.